Well, good day and welcome once again to Moments with Dr. Steve. I'm Dr. Steve Bonneberg, and today in this segment we return to the Writer's Covenant, the comprehensive guide that I built for writers and creatives called Compositions and Compilation. If you're a creative of any sort, you need to know how to create composition, don't you? If you're a potter, if you're a carpenter, a welder, if you build houses, if you're a youth worker, if you work in university, if you are studying for your PhD, if you're a doctor, you need to know how to compose and compile, don't you? Go to stalegius.org, pick up a copy for a small contribution. You will glad you did. Today we're going to talk about what I call Project Alpha, and that is to visualize and map encounters. Visualize and map encounters. We arrive at the point where your story has to be told. Thus, we have discussed and dissected and provided entertaining, enabling ideas and scaffolding for scenes and settings and characters and quirkiness and commonality of interest and uncommonality of reason. And Dr. Steve's model for imagining and building and carrying the messianic promise through the messianic protagonist. I love that conversation. Compelling threads of personality and individualization of characters. We've gone through that. Go back in the history of our communication and locate and study these. Trust me, you're going to need mastery over each and every specific detail because your job is to enrich and excite and properly expand your capacity to become a proper storyteller. In this segment, we're going to focus upon visualization and mapping encounters. Visualization and mapping encounters. You must know how to do this. Visualize as you begin to build out your story. The promise is that you can do this. The premise is that it's going to take a large amount of work. And the big canopy idea is that you already have a core premise. The canopy is that you have secured and done the hard, constructive thought work for and about your principal character. The premise, the canopy exists, that you already have the setting and the worldview, that you've got those things. Now, we will plow in days to come about how you actually begin to sprint along and build real plot. That's coming. But for today, we want to talk to you about process of visualization. We want you to imagine your primary character. We want you to see the scenery that they are to thrive in or that they're to stumble in. Who's with them? What evil lurks behind every pulled to closed curtain? What evil swims and seeks to sink the culture or the world that they exist in? What are the primary reasons that they are there? Aha! You need to figure those out. And then who are their primary advocates? Who are the unlooked for and unassuming and hidden inside of the fold people that support them in their world? And who are their primary adversaries? And what behaviors and practices and schemes and snares do they set to be able to upend and thwart the work that they were called to create? What friction points and sparking precipitors, and what events pull your character and your characters into the middle of the maelstrom of events that you are imagining, events that they cannot ignore and they can't dislodge themselves from, but they are called to stare them down and confront them. Map of encounters. So you have to visualize those and then map the encounters. Now, take out a legal pad, turn it to landscape visual mode, start building a map and start sketching out your landscape. Start fleshing out key encounter moments and key refreshment zones and key colliding worlds. Take your time. You are building great literature. You're imagining and constructing worlds and places and scenes and encounters that potentially millions of people throughout the course of history will immerse themselves in. Think of that. Great literature, your intent, our vision, our reason, everything I do is because I believe that great literature exists that is yet unwritten. and it's hidden and buried and trampled upon for certain inside the lives of ordinary people like me. Our intent, our vision, our reason is to create passion for excellence, and for you to begin to take the things that we thread into your spool, and for you to begin to lay down the mapping coordinates that are going to create your great work of art. We are building our GCC, a global cultural conversation. We want you to join the mix. Go to stalegius.org, drop us a note, inform us of the people and landscapes and universes that you believe are locked inside of your soul. We are curious. Till next time, I'm Dr. Steve Bonneberger, and this is Moments with Dr. Steve. Travel far.